Hello, testing one, two, three. Okay, just making sure everything is working because my sound settings got a little messed up here, so that's partially why I'm behind. Okay, I think we're good. I have today's art. I just need to do my Twitter post. Okay, got that. Grab that. Okay, there we go. That post is made. Let me finish my setup here. It's just one thing after another. I need my dongle. There's my dongle. Okay, just gonna put that over there for right now. Grab my actual plugin. Audio a bit loud. Shouldn't be. Should be as normal. Although I'm not seeing any music coming in. Hold on. That might be why. There you go. Did you guys hear? There you go. My bad. Like I said, all the sound settings appear to have reset, which is less than ideal. Uh, what was that set to? I don't remember which one the Discord one was set to, so I'm not going to bother with it. I won't be in Discord with anyone at the moment, though, so it shouldn't matter. Okay. Um. Wow. Let me give one final check here, make sure everything's working. Should be. Okay. But yes, I just got the tweet out. Do me the favor, chat. Go give it some love. I think we are good to go. Hello, everyone. uh, I have had a rough like 72 hours. I'm trying to think about like the actual time and how long it's been. Um, by all rights, I should not be streaming today. I saw some people saying like, "Oh, it must be that you guys didn't get hit too bad." No, no, I'm just extremely lucky. Um, this was, I think, the seventh storm. I was talking with my parents about it. I think it's the seventh storm since I've been alive that we've been hit by the eye of, um, which is just like fucking hell, man. If you guys have ever experienced any like big major type of storm, um, you guys should kind of know. Like, obviously, there's parts of the storm that are a little bit scarier than others, and that's kind of what the eye is. The eye is the scariest part of the hurricane. It's where when you hear about like hurricane force winds and strength and everything, it's from that part. So it just is what it is. I should do a face stream. I actually thought about it, but I realized that a little bit being a VTuber, I can relax a little bit more. You guys might get a face stream from me on Monday. And the reason why is because Monday's my birthday. So you guys might get that from me for Monday. But yeah. I think it wasn't as catastrophic as expected, but still brutal. This storm was still extremely destructive. I don't want to downplay that. I am extremely lucky. I have had hurricanes that were less powerful do more damage to my house. I don't know how, but I didn't get like hardly any damage. The only damage I actually had to my house was just two back panels of my fence. So like I have a white, PVC vinyl fence, and like basically it has like posts and then panels in between them. And so it's like two of those in between the posts. Like the entire segment of the fence got blown out. Interestingly enough, it was not the segment that got blown out last time. It was the two to the left of it. But that was the only damage I suffered. The fence is damaged. I will have to call the fence guys to come out and deal with it. But that was technically nothing, and we were able to kind of put it back together. So that's, as far as I'm concerned, the fact that there's no actual structural damage is why I'm just like, oh, thank God. I had towels in all my windowsills, and several of them are damp. Like they are. I haven't even removed them yet. They're like somewhat damp, and actually like that's a sign that the window did sweat some. That water did manage to get through a little bit, but kind of to be expected when you're dealing with 100+ mph winds. It just is what it is. But yeah, I wanted to be pretty clear that on Sunday, we were very concerned. I've lived in Florida a long time. I know by now that it is like just kind of part of like living here, but at the same time, you kind of learn, especially after living here for decades, that like there are storms that you can kind of ignore. Like for me, I ignored the shit out of Helene. It did nothing to me. And then you learn that there are storms which should not be ignored. And I don't want to make light of Helene. Helene was a really destructive storm. Even for like the coastline of Florida, they got it really bad with storm surge. But I'm inland. I didn't have to deal with any of that. And to me, it was nothing other than some ill-tempered weather, and it really just didn't do much of anything. We didn't even get that much rain from it. But with Milton, the very second that Milton spawned and it had a projected track, I went, oh shit. I knew. My mother knew. My father knew. We all fucking knew. We knew it was going to be that way. And like I said, our only hope was that, okay, well, we're right in the path of it from the original track. Hopefully, we're not going to continue to be in the path of it afterwards. But we were. It moved off us and moved back on. So unfortunately, the NHC was really, really accurate with their prediction. Yeah, we ended up not evacuating. Part of the reason why is news broke that Milton was in fact going to weaken. So we did not leave because, and I've told you guys this before, but our mantra is kind of cat 3 and lower we can handle. Cat 4 and 5, get the fuck out of the way. It's not worth it. And Milton was a like cat 4, very, very close to landfall, but it got downgraded just prior to landfall to a cat 3. Literally, it moved inland just a little bit, and it was already cat 2. So, like, that is about as strong as we've gotten from several of the other eyes. It's just kind of par for the course. Irma hit us at cat 2, and it came in at a cat 4 as well. So, like, it's something that we're kind of used to. We know, being a little bit more inland, that we have that extra little layer of defense there, but it's something that you still got to take seriously. And like, a cat 5 coming in on landfall might degrade to a cat 4, and then you're like, well, that still sucks, and I still don't want to deal with that. So it just kind of is what it is. But yeah, I'm alive still, and technically my parents didn't have that much damage either. They're quite lucky. I haven't talked with them, and actually, let me real quick just double check something. Did that come through a different audio channel, chat? I just heard the what did that come through? Zuko, thank you for the resub, appreciate it. McTankles, thank you for the 30. Or sorry, thank you for the 51. I didn't hear anything. I have no idea what that's coming from. Where is it? I have no idea. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I have not seen. I haven't heard from my parents yet. They might not have power back, or they might not know. They've been out visiting my aunt and grandma because they had a situation of their own. I'll kind of explain that to you guys here, because I think we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get started rolling. Assuming I actually have this set up. There you go. There you guys get the full screen. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll have to figure out why the alerts are not coming through. It's got to be the sound settings, but my alerts have some special settings, so I'll have to refigure that. Let me grab today's art for you. Okay, so it should be in there. There is today's artwork. Tornadoes that hit before the rain. Yeah, the tornadoes were no joke. They said it's apparently the and one of them was extremely close to my house. Basically, they said it was the second largest recorded outbreak of tornadoes since the 2011 like supercell that went into like Alabama and Mississippi and all that. So like, Jesus, it was it was not to be trifled with. Thankfully, like, again, the closer you got to the storm, the less tornadoes there were. But yeah, I saw some places, I think it was Lake Placid, where it just like it carved through an entire community. And I was just like, good God, just imagine getting hit by a tornado prior to getting hit by a hurricane. That just fucking sucks. I don't wish that on anyone. We do have the new event in FGO, so that's kind of going on. I did get you guys prepped. I am very glad that I did all of my prep early. Oh my God. I am past CAD saved future CAD again. 125 tornado warnings or something like that. Yeah, it was really, really rough. But no, at least you guys were prepared, even though I couldn't be here. I'm sorry. I know I missed like practically an entire week of streams for you guys. It is what it is. There's just not much I can do about stuff like that. Sometimes real life gets in the way. Natural disasters happen, and there's just nothing that can be done. But no, it was a really interesting tale, and I probably have the video of the basketball hoop falling down because like I said, that happened in one of the like outer bands. My dad was outside pumping some water out of his pool, and that sucker, like, it was not like, oh hey, it missed him by a couple inches, but it was one of those deals where like he had just walked under that like 30 seconds to a minute prior. Like, it could have easily just happened right at the same time, and God, it would have killed my father. Like, I would be really fucking pissed off right now. So he's very, very lucky. But yeah, basically, we knew going into this was going to be a bad one, and like that's why I haven't been streaming. Is even prior to the hurricane actually hitting, it didn't hit us till about like Wednesday evening, early Thursday, and I know some people are probably like, oh, well, why isn't CAD streaming prior to those days? Chat, if you're going to get hit by a hurricane, there is a bunch of prep you need to do, particularly if you own any sort of property. So it's like, I had to do all of that. I had to help my parents with it. Like, it was just an immediate, like, I just went into emergency mode, and it's what I do. I will always prioritize what needs to be prioritized, and I can apologize for it, but it's at the end of the day, it's a sorry not sorry type of deal. I have to prioritize my family and loved ones over anything related to stream. Off-brand SSRs, Drake and Nemo, sad. That's all good. You guys can see I'm a little bit spent down there. Let me double check JP. JP, we are a little bit spicy, but I can probably do some stuff. I think the new event should be upcoming soon on JP, but it's not yet. I did get, so during the hurricane, as I was sitting there, I was charging my phone as long as we had power, and the hurricane is coming in, and I was just rolling out my FP. I got all of my Grail casting for the month done on JP, and I was like, oh my god, at least I don't have to deal with this later. And I was like, yeah, that's perfect. I don't have to go through this dumb shit. Resurgence, thank you for the 39. Appreciate it. Brandon, thank you for the 59. Glad to hear you weren't affected too badly by Milton. Also, good luck with Huyan, Zhou. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to say that I wasn't affected badly, but certainly it could have been way, 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 way worse. I am very fortunate. Our area did get hit very hard. And it's funny because like when they do their normal like forecasts and broadcasts with the weather, like especially locally here, you guys will see, how they have like temperature readings for certain areas of like your state and stuff like that. Imagine just an entire swath of your state is unable to report those readings, because that is what it currently looks like in Florida, where they try to get readings out of like Sarasota and several of these surrounding counties, and there are no readings. And the reason why is because all of the sensors are damaged. I am in one of those areas that is not reporting right now. So I do want to emphasize how bad it is for my neck of the woods. I am very fortunate to have power. For instance, my parents still do not, as of me last checking and leaving their house earlier today. And they straight up, like, they had to go hunting for gas this morning for their generator because they don't have any more, and there is no gas to get. It's very, very concerning. The chief concerning thing right now in our area is the overall supply of petroleum, because a lot of people are without power, and a lot of people are running stuff on generators, particularly like the refrigerator for perishable goods and stuff. And if they don't get that, they're going to end up losing out on a lot of stuff, especially a lot of like emergency services as well, like your sheriff and police stations, your hospitals. They're all running on like backup generators right now. So it is very, very concerning if we don't actually get the gas. But at least as of today, it did sound like some shipments were finally coming in. So we're doing a little bit better in that regard, but there is still just a shit ton of damage everywhere. We've got roads blocked. We've got power lines down, flooding in some areas. So it's nasty. Medicines that have to be refrigerated? Yep, that can also be a thing. Put all your gotcha look in a better way? True. This hurricane is pretty much gone from your area now, right? Yeah. Milton's out in the Atlantic now. He's fucked off into nowhere. And there is like I saw somebody posted it on Discord, but there is like some like false advertising about there being another storm that's about to hit Florida. That's not true at all. So just again, like, pay heed that anything that you see like that is completely fake. Thank God. I don't need another one. That actually happened back in 2004. My area got hit by 3 hurricanes with about a week in between them. It was awful. And it did so much damage. It devastated our area. And it was one of those deals where, like, insurance companies were threatening to pull out of the state, which, again, I have to say, thank God our governor at the time basically told the insurance companies, all right, fine. If you leave Florida, you will never come back. You will be barred from doing business in the state if you don't fulfill your insurance obligations to your clients. And I was like, thank you. Fuck those people. God. Like, I get it. I understand. It's like, oh man, this is going to bankrupt us. It's like, guess what, guys? Insurance is a bet, and you lost the bet. That's your own damn fault. That's not our fault. And that's something that really drives me up a wall, is when I see companies that are trying to, like, pull out after they lost their bet. And I'm just like, no. You don't get to do that. You're gonna leave everybody high and dry just because you can't take a loss. Insurers might pull out down the road. Good. I mean, they can, right? Like, as long as they're not doing it in the height of the emergency, you don't get to do that. Again, it's you made a bet, you lost the bet, fulfill your obligation. If you want to go later, hey, sorry, we're not taking any new policies in the state, yada, 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 that's one thing, right? I think that's A-okay. But if you're not going to fulfill what you are currently obligated to, nah, you can go fly a kite in the middle of the hurricane. Classic, I'm a genius, oh no moment. Yeah. Well, it's something I don't like about insurance in that regard. Insurance is kind of, to a degree, insurance is a scam. It kind of always has been. Unless you think that it's not going to be. And that's usually the difference is, the people underwriting the insurance are betting either that it won't happen or that it will happen at such a degree that they still make a profit off of you. Whereas the people that are fulfilling the policy are just wanting to be protected. And so that's kind of my issue with it, is that there is that difference in goals there. Hello, Cal. Sorry about your basketball go. Oh, it's all good. That's at my parents' house. So again, and I have to reiterate, we did not evacuate. We were going to, then we decided we weren't. We had a shit ton of prep we had to do, which I had already done a lot of the prep, thankfully. I basically, when we thought we were going to evacuate, had done a ton of it, just in the sense of, hey, we might have to leave. And then it was kind of, okay, no, we're not leaving because the storm looks like it will weaken just enough. And it did. Thank God it did, because it could have been so much worse. Um, but yeah, that's just kind of how it ended up. And we stayed. I stayed over at my parents' place. I took the dogs, loaded them up in my car, drove on down to their place because they got a nice 2-story house at least. So even if something does happen to like the building, it's gonna be relatively safe with them. And we rode it out. We lost power about like, and I was surprised because I thought we were gonna keep power later than we did, but we lost power about 9 o'clock, and it had already made landfall at that point. We were not directly like on the coast or anything where it made landfall, but we were a little bit deeper in, and then it ended up being quite annoying in that regard. But okay, let's go ahead and let's do. Actually, hold on. Let me see. Did I do my mana prisms? Yeah, it looks like I did. Let me double check my inventory here. Make sure I don't have something else. Yeah, there you go. See, more free quartz. Free quartz. Oh, think I got even more. I shouldn't have touched that, but whatever. That just needs to be burned anyways. Okay, should be good for now. Alrighty. And now we can go ahead and we can start the Huyan Zhou rules. Again, Huyan Zhou's an interesting unit. I put out my analysis on her. She's not like the best assassin or anything like that, but I really like her design. I never got her on JP myself. So yeah, I figured why not? Let's go ahead. Let's try to get her and see what we can do with it. Free Sankworth, let's go. Yeah. We have a hurricane, but we had a power outage from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. during an excessive heat advisory. Yeah, I know that feel. Like I said, I think my neck is sunburned, and I got my farmer's tan going on with a little bit of sunburn on my arms. Because I've been out working, like literally the past 48 hours here. I've spent like the majority of it outdoors. So there's just been a ton of like cleanup that we had to do and everything. I'll probably do about 20 of these tickets since I'm only at 29. I don't have enough for the full 30th, and we'll see. But again, the goal is probably just we're gonna get the token copy of Huyan Zhou. I might go a little bit deeper, might go for like NP2 or something. We'll see. It depends on kind of how easy this first copy is. Why is she an assassin instead of a rider? That's a good point. I don't really know why, but I think like where I look at it is why did it take like 7 years for us to get our first AoE quick SSR assassin? Like assassin is known for quick cards, so it's kind of wild that it took it this long to actually happen. Like the very first AoE SSR assassin was an arts assassin, and that's highly irregular if you really think about it for that class. So assassin's just always kind of been a weird one in that sense. Cream Hill during Fairy Cup? Yep, no problem. This is going to be a Huang. It is. We already got Huang Feihu. So, and again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering names. I will say this, regardless of how people feel about like proper pronunciation of names, one thing, and I think this is something that is particularly true for Chinese language, is like, you know how Japan has like Romanji? It has the romanization of their language so that it is converted in a way that can be read phonetically accurately, or at least close to phonetically accurately. I don't find that to be the case at all with Chinese names and language, where like you see a word that's originally a Chinese word and it's been romanicized, it's been converted into English characters, and it sounds nothing like it's supposed to be pronounced. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with that then. Yeah, it's just oof at that point, because I do know that like Chinese as a language has certain sounds that like normal like English doesn't have, so it becomes like I think they use a lot of, and I forget. Ooh, very very nice art for that C. And it's a redrop C in case anyone's wondering. And or is it? Wait, is it redrop or is it Shaka P? I don't remember, but it's one of the two. But like, yeah, it's just one of those deals where I've heard that like Chinese use a lot of like diphthongs, which are just, I guess, the type of like thing where you're kind of like pressing your tongue up against the roof of your mouth as you say something. And like English doesn't really have that. I think we have similar type things, but it's why it doesn't like sound the exact same unless you're, again, a native speaker or something. Kitsune, thank you for the 41. Fades, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate it. And Ray, thank you for the 56. And wait, hold on. Is this? Yeah, okay. So, wow, a bunch of you subbed right here. And Resurgence, thank you for the 39. I'm sorry. I get distracted telling my stories and looking at stuff happening on the screen. And I often completely get stun locked by stuff and don't end up, addressing people. But thank you. I appreciate it. How am I? I'm doing all right. I am tired as all crap. Chad, if this stream doesn't go the full duration, don't blame me. I'm literally that exhausted. I am subsisting currently on this Dr. Pepper that I have in front of me, and the second that like expires, I'm just dead to rights. Afo, thank you for the 43. Appreciate it. It is redrop, just to confirm. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was redrop, but I was like, it might not have been. I didn't expect to stream at all, so it's all good. I didn't either. Where I pinged you guys yesterday is when I realized I had power at my house, and I was just like, "Fuck yeah!" I'll end up getting it all set up. Which I had to totally reset up my computers. So again, just continuing to tell the story here for a little bit of kind of how it happened. So like I said, I went over to my parents, I wrote it out. We lost power about 9. I was kind of just sitting on their couch, had my phone charging, said make sure it was at max, and basically was just rolling out my FP on FGO, like spending down my AP. I got to farm quite a bit of embers, and trying to make sure I got my grail casting all done so that like I wouldn't have to worry about it at a later date. Hell yes, another one. So like that proceeded onward. We ended up losing power, and then then it kind of went dark, and it sucks. It really, really freaking sucks. Being like in the dark without power and a hurricane is raging all around your house. We got into the eye wall. The storm was really raging, and it's funny because there was a point where and they were talking about this like on the radio / TV. We had to convert basically to radio after a while, but they were talking about how this storm was converting from a normal hurricane to, because it was getting a cold front pushed into it, it was converting instead into an extratropical storm, something that was kind of almost like a feature of the front itself. So there was a point where the storm kind of broke open. It stopped spinning as much, and it became more of like a wave. It actually looked like a freaking like batarang, like literally like a boomerang type almost chevron like shape. And that was right as we were going through the eye wall and went into the actual eye. And yet again, as always, anytime you go into the eye, it is super eerie because you go from hearing 100-mile-per-hour winds outside and it just like being like constantly to, oh my God, what happened? Where did it go? It stopped. There's no more wind. So like you're just sitting there and you're like, oh shit, it stopped. And thankfully, because the storm had broken open, while we went through the eye, and the eye was pretty big. I think the eye was like a good 20 something miles across. By the time it got to us, at least. Like basically we didn't really have to worry too much. There was no back eye wall really. There was a back part of the storm, but like it didn't hit us until like about 4 a.m. So like It was pretty good. We were like we got very lucky that the storm kind of broke open when it did. So we only got that front half of the eye wall. If we had to get the back half like we did with several of the other storms that I got hit by, that would have been so much worse, because I can't emphasize to you guys enough how brutal it is dealing with hours of sustained winds and gusts in the 100-mile-per-hour like range, to then have it 180 and come out of the opposite direction. Anything that was teetering on braking, when the wind shifts to the complete opposite direction, will break. It will just snap at that point. And it's really funny because some of the damage that my parents did receive, they received no actual structural damage. But what did get damaged was, again, you guys saw the basketball hoop that went down, as well as my parents in their backyard, something like, 25 years ago, basically, when I was a kid. And for like both me and my brother, we both played baseball. So my dad actually like put up a batting cage. He drilled like wooden posts into the ground and basically strung up some wires on the posts and hung a net from that and made a proper batting cage, which it's not that hard to do, but like is, amazing that he did that. That cage had stood for 25 years through multiple storms. That cage came down because he had taken the net down years ago because it wasn't really getting used. So there was no real point in stringing it back up. And technically, like, the nephews have used it and stuff like that, just not like properly with the cage on it and everything. But oh man, basically what happened is the metal wires that he had going between it, one of the branches from they have a big like 300-year-old oak tree in their backyard, and one of the big branches from that fell on the wire, and I don't think that itself was enough to break the cage, but when it was on the wire, basically at that point it's just becoming like a sail. So essentially the wind just keeps pushing against that and yanking on that, and that brought down a couple of the wooden posts for the batting cage. So part of what I was doing out there with him today is we were carting the last of the debris out of his backyard. We had to get the wheelbarrow and some tarps out there and just cart it all out. But then I had to like get up on the fucking walls and like actually like drill all the fucking screws right back out of the batting cage that was left. And we had to completely disassemble all the remaining parts of it because it's shot now. It's totally destroyed. So that was a ton of work. They're huge like 2x4 beams. Sorry, I say 2x4. It's more like 4x4 beams. And it just, oh man, it was a lot of work lugging all of that. We had to break some of the posts in order to get them out. So it's just not fun in that regard. But yeah, it's just essentially they had that. They had they had several like major branches fall down. Some fell in their pool and stuff. And so we had to like clean all of that up. And, basically not Sunday. God, what day is it? Today is Friday. Oh, wait, Caster. Huh? Hi, Cersei. I was like, hold on. Pigoretto there. But yeah, basically like Thursday morning after the storm had passed, and I want to be clear here, chat. Like I said, we got the last of the storm at like 4 a.m. That was not a good night's sleep for anyone. We did get some sleep, but like we slept in like an hour at a time here and there, and like I maybe had a grand total of like 3 hours sleep myself, and it was just kind of rough. But yeah, like at like 7 a.m., my father's neighbor gets out there and he's got just this stick up his ass. He's just super angry because there's so many like branches down. Mind you, None of it damaged his property. He was perfectly fine. There was no issue whatsoever. But he was all upset about the branches and everything, and he was just getting angry. And so he was like demanding that we get out there and help him clean it up. And we've dealt with this guy in several hurricanes prior. It's like we've always done that. It's just we don't know why he wanted to like go out there at like the ass crack of dawn and basically clean it up. It's like, bro, everyone is exhausted from last night. No. But we did. We ended up going out there. We helped them. We cleaned up our portion of it and all that. And then we got to work hauling like several, like I can't stress to you guys enough. I probably hauled like several like 50 to 100-pound logs. It's just huge branches and stuff. Like the pictures that I sent in Discord did not do it justice of the actual damage. I probably should have gotten you guys a proper picture of it, but just you're not thinking of that when you're dealing with it. You're just like, I gotta get shit done. So it's, I guess, typical male mindset at that point. But assassin, there we go. Okay, that wasn't too bad. That was like, actually, I have no idea how much that was. Was anyone keeping track? I know we had the 2 multis worth in the tickets there, but was that like 2, 3 multis? Below average for sure, yeah. Pretty early horse nonetheless. Yep. 121. Okay, that was not bad then. So that was basically 2 multis. I'll take it. Yeah, we'll go for NP2 then, chat. Why not, right? Let's make her a little bit stronger so that she can stand up a little bit better in the face of like some of the welfares and stuff. But yeah, so oh, hold on. Let me turn her on.
サーバントコエンシャククラスはアサシン本来ならば召喚される身の上ではないのですが、
okay, so it's special
特殊な事情によって召喚されました。とある厳令との融合により女性として召喚されていますが、
They actually address the
戦
gender
闘能
bend.
力は劣化していませんのでお気
They
に
don't
なさらず
normally do that, I feel like. Yeah, I guess they do
以上
sometimes.
何かご質問あるいはお褒めの言葉などありますでしょうか。
Okay. Yeah, it looks like we still have the sound delay. Thankfully, it wasn't too bad there. But yeah, there you go. So that's the first copy. We'll continue to go for a little bit more. Especially since I didn't have to spend an exorbitant sum of money on repairs. Got 2 SSR, but none of them was the event server. Got NP3 Aussie and NP7 Orion. Oh, that's odd. Ooh, there we go. More idle chatter. So just continuing on with the story. Like I said, so we got out there, we had to clean all that up. I had to log so much like crap from both the front and the backyards out. I had to get all the major stuff out. So then it was around like noon, and we basically rode into town looking to see if there was gas. There wasn't any. The power at our office was still out, which as far as I know, it still is. Like most of our downtown area in our city is still without power. And then from there, we drove by my house to see how it was. And like I said, I was astounded because I've had like siding and fascia on my like building that's had issues before. I've also had, my back fence get blown out and stuff. And yeah, really, there was nothing. I've had more water damage inside the house than I did with this one, so I was extremely fortunate. And I think the big reason why is because like most of the wind for this storm just was perpetually out of like the east, and my house is eastward facing, but it is thankfully like it's a pretty like tight community in terms of like how the housing works. So like, essentially, there was not a lot of like play from the east side. There was another like house blocking me to the east. So I was like, oh, thank God, right? Like I didn't have, another. I did not have like terrible luck with that. And so I think that ended up being what kind of saved a lot of it for the most part. Which, God, I'm so lucky in that regard. That was probably the chief thing that I was worried about. And as a result, like that took a huge load off me. So we got like the generator set up at my house. I got my refrigerators plugged in. I still went back and stayed with my parents for that night because there was like, again, nothing too much really to do. Oh, wait. No, I didn't. Never mind. Hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, because this is Thursday. This is after the storm. Basically, we got the generator all set up at my house. Then we went back to my parents and we ended up finally eating lunch at that point. It was around like 1 o'clock. And then after we finished eating lunch, we had gotten a call from basically my aunt. She was kind of frantic because I guess she had a tree down in front of her like garage, like in her driveway. And we were sitting there thinking like, oh, okay, but it's not that big of a tree. No, this was a huge fucking oak tree. I don't like, both me and my dad were sitting there thinking like, it's not that big of a tree. And I guess she used to have a smaller tree, but she got it replaced with a larger oak. And like, it wasn't a huge oak, but it was at least like not a small thing, right? Like, so we ended up like heading over there to help her out. And I was joking with the people in VIP here earlier that like basically we get over there and there is just this like, if you guys ever seen the meme of like, what is it? I think it's like called Professor Impossible or something like that, where it's like, it's this like big like kind of like black dude. He's got like a manly beard. He's got a shaved head. He's dressed to the nines. Like he's got like this like full white suit on, but he's got his sleeves rolled up and he's like ripped as all shit. And then he's wearing like a gold Rolex, right? Like that's what this guy kind of was. So we pull up and he is just cutting up the tree and he's gotten it at this point down to just kind of the stump. And basically, instead of him being dressed to the nines, he was just full blown like redneck dressed. And he was just going to town on this thing. Another Huang Fei Hu. There we go. But it was pretty freaking funny because like we show up and this dude's got all the tools. He's got an actual saw out there, a chainsaw. He's got a sledgehammer. He's got an axe, and like he's just going to town on this stump. And so we're there, and we start to help him. And so like we're trying our damnedest because like the tree proper was not that bad to deal with, but the stump was like, oh my God, it just did not want to actually come out. And in the end, he didn't get it out. Like none of us did. We got it down to a very small amount, but that small amount probably still weighs 500 pounds and is deeply connected into the ground with those roots. And good luck getting that sucker out. Basically, while he had a chainsaw, it was not a big chainsaw. And so as a result, it was too small to actually do the job. And I don't blame him for it, but it was one of those deals where it was like, oh my God, dude, just this thing is just never going to come out no matter what any of us are trying to do. So anyways, like, yeah, I ended up having to use a freaking power saw myself at my parents'. I ended up getting to use the sledgehammer and the axe there. It's just like, it's funny because I've used tools like that before, but it's been so long since I've used them that I forgot how much like form matters. Because like if you guys have ever swung an axe or a sledgehammer, like what you really want to do is you want to like start it with a wide grip as you kind of aim it. And once you get into the swing, you want to like slide your hands together at the base of the tool so that it doesn't destroy your hands. And you want to kind of let momentum and gravity do a lot of the work for you. But yeah, like doing that, I did it like once or twice, and I was like, "Oh hell nah!" I forgot how this is, and I very quickly learned. I was like, "Yeah, I really gotta sit there and actually do the proper stuff." Because dear lord, it was rough, and I don't know. Hope everything's doing well. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you for the resub. Afo as well. Thank you for the resub. Um, but yeah, it was just oh god, like it just that shit was gonna destroy my hands if I didn't do it right. So thankfully, I did remember how to properly do it, but. It was just a rare like redneck moment for me and like actually getting out there and getting to do all that stuff. But yeah, we ended up leaving my aunts around like god like 5 o'clock or so, and you know we were heading back and we went to eat dinner. And then from there, we were headed back out because we wanted to like go find gas. The problem was it was getting dark. Ooh, there's NP2. So far, luck is on my side with this. More thighs? Yes, more thighs. Yeah, why not? We'll keep going until I'm done with my story. How about that? um but yeah, so like basically we ended up going back out, and I was kind of against it because you know it's getting dark, and the problem, like I said, in our area there's so much power out everywhere, so like several of the lights in my area they're not even like flashing, they're just dark. There is no sign that there's even an intersection there really at night unless you have some way of knowing it. And so it gets kind of dangerous, especially with cars not always being the smartest at those types of intersections. It's supposed to be four-way stop basically if a light is out, but you'll see cars and they'll just floor it right through it, and you're like, oh my god, dude, someone's gonna die. So we go out, and you know, again, this was against my better judgment here, and on the way out we ended up passing by my neighborhood, and like we get past it, but I was looking at my neighborhood as we went past it and went like, hold on. I said, stop, turn around. The gate to my community was closed because we have a little like automatic gate, and they normally keep it open during the hurricane. And sure enough, we turn back around, we go look, oh my god, the light outside my community is on. There's power. And I was like, oh, thank God I have power. So we realized I had it. And like I said, that's where I texted you guys basically last night saying like, hey, yeah, we're actually going to manage to get a stream out of this. But I ended up having to basically go and like continue to ride with my parents because, like I said, they were out looking for gas, and you know, they still kind of had that as a goal. So they went driving around, but we didn't find anything. Like, basically, I think because, like, the Department of Transportation hadn't necessarily cleared all the roads, and there was still so much, like, power out everywhere that I think just they had not started to do the gas shipments. And so, like, they didn't find anything. My dad was super worried, but at least since I didn't need a generator at that point, and I didn't need gas, like that freed up the gas from that. So it was just enough for my parents to make it through the night. And thankfully, this morning, they were able to go out and find some gas themselves. But basically, yeah, like last night, I ended up kind of moving back into my house and you know, getting set up a little bit. I did get my computers plugged in last night, double-sided writer, and managed to which I think that's what, chat NP3 Fehu. I ended up managing to at least like get everything situated, which I did one really smart thing before the hurricane, and that's that I set my AC extremely low, which thankfully, again, the weather has actually been, out of probably every hurricane I've been through, the weather has been the most pleasant after a hurricane, where like it has just been breezy. It's been cloudy skies. It's been, like temperatures in the 70s yesterday. Today it was 80, so it was a little bit, but still not terrible, right? Because normally it's extremely hot and it's extremely humid, and there's usually no wind really after a hurricane goes through. So it's really, really rough. But yeah, we ended up like kind of being able to work under auspicious conditions otherwise in that regard. But yeah, so I ended up moving back in and getting the dogs set up. I got to take a nice hot shower. I got to sleep in my own bed, and I slept like a ton of bricks last night. Because again, it had been like an entire day's worth of just manual labor and just repeated doing stuff and just not a lot of sleep. So thankfully, I did get that rest, because today I had to go right back out there. I woke up about like 9 o'clock today. I ended up and I went to bed at like 11:30 last night, so I slept for a good I don't know, 9-10 hours, somewhere in there. But I woke up, I ended up heading back over to my parents and helping them. Like I said, we had to cart all the stuff basically that still remains. So we had gotten all the big branches, but there was just a ton of smaller stuff. And so we had to like basically load all that onto a tarp, haul that onto a wheelbarrow, and then basically take that down to the road. And again, like I said to people in VIP yesterday, but the trash like mound for those people, like ours is probably the biggest in my parents' neighborhood, but it was probably as tall as me and at least twice my length just for us, and it technically merged into the neighbor's trash pile, so it ended up being like 3 times my length. It's just a huge pile of debris, which is not, I'm not going to say it's not normal. It's not the biggest we've ever had, but it is certainly just, a ton of debris. And we ended up having to cart even more into that today. And basically, like I said, then I had to like get up there and start hauling the huge freaking beams and drilling and breaking what was remaining of that batting cage down. And it was just a ton of work. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm sunburnt at this point, but it is what it is. Thankfully, that side of things, all the manual labor should be done. I still got to call the fence guys and get them to come out and actually like make sure that my fence is good, which there is like the cross post to the top of my fence is broken. So I got to like deal with that, but it should be relatively easy. I'm sure it'll cost me some money, but how do the dogs fare? Dogs hate the hurricane. Honestly, like Nico doesn't mind, but I think he can tell something's up, and so he doesn't want to like tangle with it too much, and I don't really blame him. But Sasha hates it. She hates any sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Any sort of like loud noise. She doesn't like vacuum cleaners. She doesn't like thunder. She doesn't like fireworks. So just imagine like what amounts to like a jet engine constantly going outside at very loud decibel levels. Yeah, your dog's not gonna like that. So thankfully though, they'll kind of just, they know there's nothing that you can do about it. They'll just sit there and they'll just kind of like, I'd say try to sleep, but they don't really. Like they're definitely awake. They just kind of go inert a little bit. And I don't blame them, because there's not much you can do. But no, they weathered it pretty good. They were, all things considered, the dogs were actually very, very good. And one of the things I really liked about it is, so now that my dogs are old enough, like with some of the prior hurricanes, they were puppies and they couldn't go that long in between going to the bathroom. But with this one, I was able to roughly around like 7 o'clock, before the conditions got too bad. I was able to run them out still while we were only getting about 40, 50 mile per hour winds. I know that sounds awful. It is. But I was able to still run them outside, let them go to the bathroom, and then bring them in. So we didn't have to do basically what my parents had to do, because my parents have beagles, and they not only can beagles just in general not go as long because they're not as large of a breed of dog, but they also like I guess their male beagle has he had some sort of eye infection or something like that, so he's been on a steroid, and basically that steroid's making him go to the bathroom all the time, so he had to go like every 2 hours. It was awful. But so my dad had like some sod that he'd bought at the store, and he had laid that out in the garage to try and get him to go to the bathroom, and like it didn't work, but it did work, but it didn't work. It was like just a real pile of like crud trying to get the dog to actually go to the bathroom on it. Especially because like, even in the garage, it's extremely loud, and so the dog is like really scared at that point. And I don't, blame it at that point, because it's just, it's not a condition anyone should really have to face alone at that point. But yeah, so he actually, he got it to work some, but it was not a good experience for him. Whereas mine, they never really had to. I was basically able to run them out before the storm, and then they were kind of good all night. And I didn't have to do anything until the bright and early morning when we woke up. So. How's your day? It's going all right. It's certainly going better now that I'm home. But yeah, I'm like, chat, I am cut up. I am bruised. I have bruises all over my arms from hauling all the heavy stuff. I've got numerous scratches on my wrist, the outside of my hands, just the inside of my hands as well. It's just, I'm beat up at this point from all the manual labor and hauling so much crap. So I am happy that at least for tomorrow and Sunday, I'm just gonna get to relax. So that's probably what my goal is. I will probably not stream again until Monday from here. Well, I say that I might. I do have a key for Metaphor that I got because I requested it before the storm hit. So there is that at least. So I could probably get Metaphor up and running, and we could be able to play it. But yeah, like I said, don't blame me if I put that stuff off until like the next week here. So we do have the lotto as well to go over. I got Avalon's spreadsheet I got to look over. I'd say I keep putting it off, but it's also one of those deals where it's like, God, there's just so much crap that keeps getting in the way. So, and it's funny because I did actually think about that. I was like, I have some time here while the hurricane's going by. But once we lost power, I kind of put my phone down because I was like, I don't want to drain my phone during this. That's why I was kind of out of there and not super everywhere. But again, thank you guys for the well wishes. Thank you guys for all the support. I do appreciate it. I know it sucks when I'm not able to be here all the time to stream for you guys. I again apologize for that, but I can apologize, but at the end of the day, it's not going to change that happening. So glad you guys got through it okay. I am too. We were really fortunate. Again, like I said, thank you guys for all the well wishes and all the prayers. I think it actually did work. We managed to pull through, and dear God, it could have been so much worse. So again, my heart still goes out to everybody that had it worse than me. We basically had it pretty bad on the southwest coast there. So those people, I know, I think it wasn't until about 2 p.m. yesterday that we finally started getting some images out of Sarasota and stuff, because people couldn't get down there. So it was kind of rough, but hopefully they pull through. Mr. Trubs, thank you for the raid. How's it going, buddy? Just chatting. What were you guys watching? or were you reacting to something, or were you just talking with chat? This has kind of been a just chatting stream for me. Anime reviewing this season. Ah, nice. Well, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for the raid, Trubs. And guys, if you haven't ever checked out Mr. Two Love Trouble, go do so. He's a good buddy of mine. Anime review shopping, gotcha. Yeah, I still haven't. I think like the only ones I watched were the ones I watched with you. So I've watched the new ReZero. I've watched Dan, and I've watched shit. What was the other one, Trubs? Do you remember? Oh, it was the orb one. The one about heliocentrism. Which, so far, all the ones I've watched have been good. So, Jezza, thank you for the resub. Thank you for the 14. Any love for you and your fam? Thank you. I appreciate it. Pondering your orb. Yeah, orb's been pretty interesting. I actually really like it. To a degree, it almost reminds me of like Vinland Saga. So, like, yeah, I'll probably be way okay with it. There's a girl on the right of my stream. Wait, you mean like the artwork above me? That's Huyan Zhou, who we were just rolling for. If you mean on the other side of the stream that just waved right there, that's Aurelia. That's my stream mascot. An original character. Totally not based off of Lartoria. Totally not based off. Something like Strange Fate coming out in November. Yeah, I suspect it's probably going to be that like initial episode that they already aired, but who knows? Like we'll see. We should be doing for some stuff. 331 Sankorts so far for two times Huyan and 5 times Hu and 1 Cersei. I think that's a pretty good run because I'm pretty sure we got MLB of the 5-star CE as well. So I think chat that's a wrap for rolls right there. There's no reason to keep pushing that even more. Wait, the rolls, huh? Yeah, I've noticed post natural disaster rolls tend to be pretty lucky for me. So could always get worse. Let's see, that's servants. Yeah, you know what? Rule of thumb, always combine your noble phantasms first before you regret. Oh, that's the base. I don't know why it does that. Hope you're having a good day. Glad you're safe and okay. Yeah, I'm safe and okay. I'm just tired. I'm beat up. I still feel like I haven't had enough sleep. But I'm relieved. I'm relieved it's over. And honestly, you know, I've seen a lot of people saying like, oh, you know, you haven't seen the last of hurricane season. I don't want to tempt fate, but with the cold front coming down, I think it's going to be difficult. I think basically usually the fronts kind of stop hurricanes from running into the continental US, so hopefully this kind of puts a cap on it, and I am definitely welcoming an earlier winter in that regard if it happens. I know probably our friends up north don't want the earlier winter, but I certainly won't complain. Hear about Ubisoft selling user data to Facebook? I did because I saw the post that someone made, and 2, I'm not surprised because I think a lot of those companies do it. I bet Blizzard does it. I bet EA does it. I bet like all of them to a degree. Like they've said that quote unquote big data is like kind of where a lot of these companies are like making some extra money. They're just all selling it to each other for like advertising and and metric purposes, but I'm just like, dude, please stop. Like, I don't want that. And I think that's half the issue of where like so many of these companies get like the wrong idea. They don't understand what the consumer actually wants because they don't talk to the consumer anymore. They're just busy basically like looking at the metadata and assuming that that is actually what they need to do. So I think that's kind of a problem at this point in time. But you know what? It is what it is. I think at this point, basically, if you're anywhere, if you have any sort of internet presence, your data has already been sold numerous times over. So they got caught. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Like it's fuck Ubisoft. They deserve it at that point. But yeah, it's I'm sure it's not what they wanted. They wanted something far less bad at this point in the game. But it'd be what it be. It's gonna happen. Okay, so looks like I have quite the pretty sum here. So we have an MLB plus at least 2 more, I think. Yep, 2 more. So I'll go ahead and I'll keep that out there. Looks like we got several others. I'll keep those separate. I will combine one of the 3 stars here, though. And this should make it a lot easier. Look, booty, yeah. Sadly, they're just that stupid and in their own asses to get that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, chat, was there anything else I missed? Did anything else eventful happen this week? Since I'm sorry, but aside from the hurricane, I've been kind of like unable to actually keep tabs on anything. I mean, house is good. House is good. Yep. Well, I'd say so for future reference, chat. No, that does not mean my house is good. I did have my laptop with me, so it's always possible that I could stream from something like that. But did I want to? No. Sparking Zero's out. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was planning to come out around this time. Was there anything else that released here recently that I feel like there was something that was supposed to release October. I guess Metaphor was one of them, but Albert announced LB7's coming in December. Oh yeah, how is the stream, chat, since I missed it? I assume much ado about nothing. Silent Hill 2 game is great. Oh, nice. I saw that Albert like paired up with Gigic to go review Strange Fake, which I'm sorry. I understand Gigic's big name. You picked the wrong guy. I don't know, dude. I don't give 2 shits about Gigic. In a stream as usual, 20 minutes of what we knew. Okay. So they didn't did they say anything about like Thanksgiving or anything like that? Maybe the upcoming lotto. Imaginary Scramble blindsided me. Yeah, I did not expect Imaginary Scramble. That was one of the things I did get to do on the side. I plowed through like the whole first like map of Imaginary Scramble. Nothing like that, no? Okay. 0 news value. It is what it is. Gig is just an anime guy, not a fake guy. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand why they chose Gigic. I just disagree with it. And I think it's especially a tone-deaf one considering who got chosen. But yeah, I hate to say it, but I think like that's just probably like Albert again behind the scenes fanboying. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but we kind of see this in other ways with other things. I'm pretty sure Albert's also the reason why certain VTubers got chosen. I'm pretty sure Albert's the reason why Nami's always the one that draws the anniversary art. So like, it is what it is. I just assume he's kind of the final decision maker, and so he just chooses what he wants. It's not the worst thing. I don't know. I disagree with Giga as a choice. Using all my teapots on Huyan Zhou now. I don't blame you. So happy I can finally experience Imaginary Scramble because I missed out on it when it first came out. Oh, yeah. Actually, it'll be a lot easier to go through now at this point because there's no limitation on you. Basically, you can clear the entire map without resources, whereas during the event, you had to actually use event resources to be able to clear sections. So it was very gated. Whereas, like, with this one, no, you're going to spam it. Teapots die soon. Yep. Oh yeah, Until Dawn remake. I love Until Dawn. It's great. So how is the PC version? Changed a few things and added scenes, but the game overall is good like the original. Yeah, I saw like some hullabaloo of like it just doesn't have a lot of players, and I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised, right? Like, to me, not only like a lot of the people already played the game or watched a synopsis back when it was out on PlayStation. So it coming to PC, like, sure, I'm sure people like don't really care because either they already know about it or to them it's probably overpriced. Because again, Until Dawn and the Quarry are extremely overpriced for what they are. That being said, they're very good. And if you want to support the developers and support them making more games like that, by all means, pay the full price. It's just, to me, they are very much the like quintessential $20 to $30 game. They should not be charging $60 to $70 for that because it's more like it's a movie experience. I think $30 is like the perfect price point for that, where it's like, okay, this would be an overly expensive movie, but you get to choose your own adventure type deal. I think they already had a remaster of Until Dawn for this one too, right? Yeah, but I think it was not on PC, and I think they also brought it to PS5 technically. I if I remember correctly, that's what the whole deal was with it. I enjoyed watching a playthrough of it a while ago, but I'm good. Yeah, exactly, right? Like they're really interesting stories. We played the Quarry for you guys last Halloween, so like I said, they're good games. I can't stress that enough. It's just they're very much like one and done or maybe like two and done type of games, and the actual like campaign of the game is not very long. You're talking like 4 to 5 hours. Happy you're back safely. I am, Nacer, thank you. There's a buggy mess, really? I had not heard that, but again, like, I've been out of the loop, so it's very easily possible stuff slipped by me. They completely remade it in Unreal 5. Yeah, I think Unreal 5 has like unparalleled like visual performance, but I think Unreal 5 as a stable like engine and architecture has problems. Particularly we see it with like all the Unreal 5 games have huge shader issues, and I don't know why that is. It may just be that like current like tech really can't handle it. Like newer stuff can, but not like people running on a like 5-year-old PC can't handle it type deal. So which reminds me, I probably need to be on the lookout for building a new gaming PC this year, since my video card and the gaming rig is kind of behind the times. It's a 2080 Super, so it's optimization issues. There's a lot of things to tweak. Oh yeah, and I get how that happens all the time with PC. I think that's basically like whenever you see these Xbox and PlayStation ports, I think a lot of it is them kind of like they produce it specifically for that architecture, and they don't have to do much in terms of bug testing it, and everything is the same. Whereas when you get it to like PC, there's so many different builds, there's so many different architectures, there is any number of things that can just kind of go colossally wrong. And so I do kind of understand that. New PC time? Yeah, at least for my gaming rig. My streaming rig got replaced a lot sooner because I needed the upgrade for the VTubing model for Aurelia there, and just to be able to like handle everything. And that was a good choice, but I did not upgrade my gaming PC at the time, so that's probably what I'll be on doing next here. But definitely still need some tweaking. So none of this should actually be anything I need. Feels weird still feeding like 4 and 5-star CEs to a CE bomb, but sometimes you just gotta do it. Support team is usually a small fraction of the main development too. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of the times quality assurance is the thing, and I think, look, these companies can say what they want, but I suspect that behind the scenes QA is usually the team that gets the shaft. Because you look at like the sloppy mess that so many of these games have released as over the past like decade here, and it just really feels like they've stopped putting as much of an emphasis on QA, and like it mostly is like a cost cutting measure. They just want to like squeeze money out of it. It's just a money farm to them, and they don't care as much about the product. And they just go, oh, we'll fix it on the back end. And I'm like, yeah, you could do that, but it ends up costing you millions a lot of the time when you do stuff like that. Thank you, Zim. Thank you for the MLB. How do I want to handle this? I think I can do one of these. 1 minute I held the key. I'll put her in there. Actually, I still have the party slots, so screw it, we'll do Bakin. That should be enough. And I'm basically just I'm gonna sack Habitrot here for the easy rotation, so I can do full 6 slot. Hopefully she's strong enough to outright kill, but we'll see. Most AAA companies outsource their QA. Yeah, I suspect that's kind of what's going on at this point, which QA is such an underappreciated like thing. And it used to be that QA was the like the stepping stone. Like everybody kind of started in QA, and then that's how they got into the like higher end jobs in gaming. But it feels like that's maybe changing some. Which I think is partially why you see so many of these like weird takes of like, hey, you have to be it's an entry level job, you need 5 years experience and like, a master's degree in something or other. And it's like, okay, cool, but like nobody can actually fulfill that. Like what are you doing? You're crazy if you actually think that. So I think that's kind of where things are just ending up really odd. What do you think about the news on the new JP event? Remind me, because like I talked with Avalon a bit. He kind of filled me in some, but like we got a pre-campaign, right? And the event is probably gonna start. Let me see what Avalon sent me. Mid-October here, so yeah, probably in the next like 4 days ish. You wonder why people are lying on their resume? Oh yeah, no, I don't wonder that at all. Crap, it's still not enough charge. I haven't leveled Eliza, and I got rid of Wu, so I don't have anybody that can charge the party. Damn it! If I had like Mash in my backline, this would have worked. Oh well. We'll just card it out. This will be a 4 turn. Hate when interloads force trash servants on me. Wait, what do you mean force trash servants on you? No servant is trash. Well, I say that. There are a couple, but okay. QA labor costs money and cuts into the bottom line for the quarter. Might as well cut QA and get the big day one sales. Yeah, do you know who else you should cut? Instead of cutting QA, you should cut your story and like, what is it, like cultural consultants that end up like changing the story and making it worse after the fact. Yeah, get rid of those people. You had a good idea for your story, whatever it was. Stop listening to those idiots. They're making it worse. And that'll save you so much money and so much extra work. You pay writers for a reason. Why are you paying somebody to come in and consult on that and change it? It's just forcing you to do extra work. Okay, so do well. I think the biggest issue here is just Bakeen's not got enough latent refund. Let's just go with Surfmo. And she should be capable. And then what I'll do is that, what is this one again? MP gauge by 5% per turn and MP strength. Okay, yeah, that should be ideal. So that should work. We'll use Surfmo instead of Bakeen. Because I don't think damage here is the issue. I think it's refund. Kat, are you going to try to get a ticket to the Fate 20th event in Hollywood? No. Look, if someone wants to get me a Kawasumi autograph and get it addressed to Khadroth or Craig, either one works for me. I will love you for a long time for doing that. But yeah, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, no, I don't have the time to go out to California. Oh wait, shit! Okay, this is gonna be spicy. I just put everything on Habitrot because I was not paying attention. It's sold out? Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's extremely rare that they're even doing something like that, let alone that it's here in the States. Craig? Yeah, it's my real name, chat. No, thank you for the 31. Appreciate it. I am doing well. I hope you are as well. I like, all things considered, I'm battered, I'm bruised, I'm tired, but I am doing good. I am doing as good as I can. Been years and now I know. Wait, really? Because like I feel like it's still below the stream. I feel like if you go look at my actual like stream stuff, you'll see it there. But I don't know. I bet his middle name is Danger. No, that's Creamy. I'm not going to reveal his true name because it's not my place to, but but that's creepy. Danger, Creamy? Exactly. Greg Roth, yes. How's Florida? You good after like 2 hurricanes? 2? You assume only 2. The season's not over yet. Nah, dude, I'm so sick and tired of hurricanes. We get them all the time. I don't want more. Fuck hurricanes. Cousin of Morgoth. So it's really funny because, again, you guys know I've been back to like playing WoW, and everybody, my original WoW character is where Khadroth comes from. My mage was originally named Khadroth, and that is where it all came from, and that's why I started out that way, and that name just kind of stuck, and I carried it into a bunch of other stuff. But it's really funny because a lot of people have been like, oh, well, your name comes from Khadgar in that. And I'm like, no, it actually doesn't. Where I got inspiration for the KHAD part of the name came from Lord of the Rings. So like Khazad-dûm and stuff like that, like dwarven stuff often in Tolkien's works have KH in the name in some way, shape, or form. And that's, like I said, that's basically where I get it from. How I got the latter portion of the name was I was doing the name randomizer, trying to come up with a name, and I saw a name that ended in Roth, so I took the CAD that I had kind of wanted from the like Lord of the Rings, and I took the latter part. Is it close to Khadgar? Hell yes, it is. But when I made my character, I had no freaking clue who Khadgar was. So, yeah, it's really kind of funny that it ended up that way. Wait a minute, I didn't kill her. Shit. Let's do it like this, but this is gonna be a spicy turn of events. We'll have to completely use all charge skills, and I don't know that that will actually properly be enough. It comes from Drothka, yeah. You just want to loop with her. I don't, bro. Like my brain is shot at this point. Soul yearns for the Habaloop. Habitrot can't loop it. That's the issue. Like she can, but I would have to use like double Castoria, and I'm trying not to. Right. But there you go. Tale as old as time. Like surf mode, just be doing. She has enough actual refund with this, which at some point surf mode is going to be a 120 target for me. But God, the whole coin situation to me, like it still didn't really get better with your 4 and 5 star units. Like it kind of did, but it kind of didn't. And I think especially with the 4 stars, it's really still rough on them. Yeah, you get more, but you have to have bonded them so much more in order to get it. So I really wish out of all the potential fixes that they went for that wasn't the one that they went for. But it is what it is. The only time I double Castoria is Lotto's. Yeah. All right, chat. I know this is sudden. I know this is fast, but I'm going to end stream here. Like I said, I'm exhausted. I'll probably still be up for a bit, but I'd like to relax. I'd like to kind of handle some stuff around the house and everything. So we're going to end it here. I got on. I did my rolls with you guys. You know I'm alive. I'm still present. So thank you guys for being here. We'll be back Monday. Monday will be my birthday stream. So I don't know. Get excited. I have no idea what I'm even going to do for that because I haven't had the time to think about it, but we'll try for it. But yep. Yeah, I'll probably end up calling my parents right here right after ending stream because I want to know what's going on with them. So but thank you guys. I'm happy to see all of you guys as well because I know it's been a hot second since I've gotten to. So let me see who all's on, who all we can give some love to. You know what? I'm gonna send you guys over to Mr. Fox. He's on. He was kind enough to raid me last time, so let's send you guys his way, and I will see you guys on the flip side. So again, thank you guys for being here, and I will see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. I'm still alive, and again, you know, if you can do anything to help out anybody else out here in Florida or anyone affected by Helene for that matter, feel free to. It's always a good thing if you guys can help your fellow man in that way. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys for the next one.